This is true. This isn't a positive affirmation video where I'm going to try to like make people feel good. It's true. Well, it's true for most people. It can be the opposite too. I'll try to remember to touch on that before the video ends. I'm saying that you're doing much, much better than you think you are. Let's look at why we think we're not, all right? That makes more sense. We have to discover how the mind is selling us on garbage or misnomers or lies. This we have to see. If you diffuse that with knowledge, it has to be like, you have to know it though. You can't just believe it. Belief is weak compared to real knowledge, real seeing. So what makes you think you're not doing good? The biggest reason that the mind makes us think that is because we're comparing ourselves to others. This is the biggest thing. 90% maybe or more. Let's think of an example. YouTube. All right. Yeah, let's do that. I don't know how many creators watch my videos, but let's say you got somebody, you're making videos, you're speaking with your heart, but you're not getting any play, you're not getting much traction, and then you look at somebody else and they're like kind of fluffy and just superficial and they're getting a lot of hits. Well, first thing you got to understand, I don't want to turn this into a YouTube business thing. First thing you got to understand, now I can make it work. You have mainstream, I've said before, 85-90% of the world, mainstream level consciousness. So if you're a mainstream level mainstream person, you're gonna fit in real good in this world. See, I'm not targeting those people. Have you noticed? I'm targeting that small 10% because the mainstream, I can't, see, there's different levels of mainstream. The higher levels of mainstream, they're like on the cusp of like becoming more, they're gonna jump into the individual level. I made a video about that, 3 stages. You have collective mainstream level, you have individual level, then you have transpersonal level. The individuals, I like working with them. It's fun because there's some expansion, some openness, and then we can actually play tennis with each other and they can hit the ball back. It's nice. So if you're not a mainstream person and the mind's comparing you to other mainstream people and you're judging, you got to look at what success is. Look at what you mean. Like, how do you think you're not doing good? Like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about success? If we're talking about YouTube, that would be more external success. Like, oh, I don't get the views. Okay, I just explained why. Because mainstream versus individual. If you're a true individual, you're probably going to get less views. Also, we got to look at, there's a lot of other things though. Also, titles, and there's a bunch of hidden factors in YouTube. But YouTube's a damn business now, and you have to know certain things. You get somebody to help you with that. So, but the point is if you're not mainstream person, you're more individual, and you're comparing yourself to mainstream, it's gonna appear, if you believe that thought and you don't understand it, it's gonna appear that you're somehow not doing good. You have to catch that thought and understand your real self-worth is totally not dependent on anything external. This belief that some people have, no, but if you're good inside, then automatically you're going to manifest, your external is going to reciprocate that. Not all the time, no, that's not what it is. There's some people's destiny, man. They're super high level, super conscious, but their destiny is not to have much money, for example. Or they may have some chronic elements. There's a bunch of saints, if you want to read about that and find them, who have had health issues. And they're like, the efforts that they're making, the willingness and the devotion they have for their sadhana and spiritual practice blows away the average, sadhaka or spiritual aspirant, but yet they still are carrying certain health elements. Yeah, why? Those are existential questions. It's because That's why. Because somehow that's your training, and at some point you'll realize, you'll see true knowledge. You'll see, damn, that was totally necessary. That was the fuel that literally like catapulted me to the next level, which I wouldn't have been able to get to otherwise. Damn, I hope I don't get lost again. I got lost once, and then I ended up like on the main road somewhere, and then I didn't know which direction to go. So I had to use Google Map. Yeah, that's a side story. Because I start talking and I get lost. My sense of direction, see, that's a shortcoming. I'm serious. I can get lost more than anybody I've ever met. Now, the mind knows better though. It can't get me with that. Oh man, like what's wrong with you? Like, you serious? You can't walk down a trail that you always walk down and not get lost? You're like stupid, man. You know what I tell it? I say, yeah, I know. I'm a retarded genius. That's how I do it. I don't take it personal. Like, we all have our thing. So those who are, this is another big thing. Those who are struggling emotionally, mentally, physically, those who really have in your heart, it's burning strong to wake up. You know, a lot of these terms, they're overused and I don't really like them anymore, but you want to try to find you want to connect with your true nature. And you're doing the best you can do. And then you watch other people or see other people who are just kind of like, it's like, well, everything's peace, love, and joy. Like, oh my God. Like, all you got to do is just kind of realize that. The mind loves that type of thing to use as its ammunition to try to make you feel like you're not doing good. I've made a video before. I'll probably make it again in a different way, where I say, your struggle and pain is much higher than the people who imagine they're experiencing some superficial bliss. You see? Because you're in touch with your karma, your depth. This can be a reason why these challenging situations are happening to you. And because you made some higher choice that you don't want to waste time anymore. You needed some dynamite to really knock you up, to take you up to another level. And that also answers the question, well, why do I still have this element? Why do I still have this challenge? To keep you there. It's like your Zen measuring stick. Because Maya's strong, this delusion's strong. It's easy to get complacent. Have you noticed? Everything's going good now. I can kind of like just screw around and indulge in things that I know I shouldn't, because like everything's good now. See? So then universe gives you some kind of challenge that maybe won't go away. You might keep that your whole life. You have to surrender to that. We don't know. Maybe it'll go away. I'm not like condemning you, but I'm just saying, these are the realizations you start to have, the more living wisdom that you get by being on this planet long enough, and by going through every day, and by having a spiritual practice and having a healthy lifestyle habits that are raising your frequency, so that you can get the download to these realizations. I've said before, if that's why I made my other channels, Beyond the Alchemy and Transcending Shadows and Divine Femininity, because if the whole package goes together. If I'm not looking at myself also on a practical level, if I'm transgressing natural health laws, how am I going to get the downloads? How are you going to get these subtle realizations and knowledge that's responsible for true wisdom? You can't get it. Both. You need both. Spiritual practice, also clean, healthy lifestyle. So those people who are struggling, and if your mind's telling you, like, there's something wrong with you, it's not. Everything's right. Don't trust your feelings so much. It doesn't mean you're going to feel better, but there has to be a deeper knowledge in you that knows this is true. Because it is. There's no accidents. There's no bad luck. Some of us have been prescribed heavy duty, heavy weight, special forces training. You'll see the fruits of that later. I'm your higher self telling you right now it's all good, it's normal, like it's good. You're being blessed, you just don't know it. So, but don't compare yourself to others. I think I did get lost, actually. Damn it. Don't compare yourself to others, because that's a big trap. If you didn't compare yourself to others, I don't think that people would feel this so intensely. This like, oh, I'm not doing. You don't realize how good you're doing. That's the thing. You just don't realize it. And so you listen to the mind with its nonsense telling you how you're doing. Your mind wants to keep you stuck, so it's going to tell you you're not doing good. Or, pay attention to this, your mind and some other people will, see, remember I said at the beginning, I want to touch on the opposite? I'm touching on it now. The mind wants delusion. No matter which way it can work it, it's going to do it. If you're actually doing good, your mind's going to tell you you're not doing good and like there's something wrong with you, when really you're doing really good. Or if you're like complacent, living in your own little ego spiritual bubble, thinking like, yeah, I'm like showing way to the people, then the mind will play the opposite card to keep you asleep in that state. It will tell you, man, you're like doing real good. You're like super good. You have to go heal and help all these people because like you got it, man. See, that's the opposite side. But I'm not really talking to those people because those people aren't open anyway to hear this. That's the danger of the spiritual ego. Yeah, it takes a lot longer to crack that. You can see why, right? So I'm talking to the people who, you see who I'm talking to. That's who I'm talking to. All right, I'll see you.